Hallelujah. Love not the world. It doesn't mean that the good things of this world, that the Lord has not given it to us. He said, as you live in the world, that you are not of the world. If you are in this world, you are not of the world. You may be in the world, but you are not part of this worldly system. This worldly system is full of sin, is full of disgust, is full of shame, is full of iniquity. He says you can be here, but remember that you are not part of this world. That was why Moses, when he was about to be taken to Egypt, he was carried by Pharaoh's daughter. As a baby, he was carried by Pharaoh's daughter. When Pharaoh's daughter took Moses, he now said, can I find somebody that can train this baby for me? And Moses' mother showed up. Moses' mother showed up, and then the Pharaoh's daughter said, okay, you can take care of this, my baby. When he's grown, you return him to me. Do you know what Moses' mother did? Moses' mother took Moses, and every day she was telling Moses, remember that you are not an Egyptian. Remember that you are of the blood of Israelites. Remember that this Egypt you are looking at, you are never part of it. Remember that I am your real mother, and we don't behave like Egyptians. We don't serve the God of the Egyptians. We don't commit the sin Egyptians commit. We don't do what they do. We don't behave the way they behave. We are the chosen of God. We are the children of God. We have been called by God. You cannot be in Egypt and act like Egyptians. It is not for your life. Moses, remember. That was how Moses grew up, with that instruction in his mind, and went to Pharaoh's house. Every day, Moses was reminding himself, you are an Israelite. Don't be carried away. You are an Israelite. Don't be carried away. Despite the love that he was being shown in the house of Pharaoh, in the house of a king, in the house where nothing was lacking. Pharaoh was the most powerful man in the world at that then. There was everything in the palace of Egypt. But Moses told himself, I am not an Egyptian. And he lived like a man with the blood of Christ in him. That was why one day he went out as a Pharaoh's son, Pharaoh's adopted son. He went out. As he was observing something, he saw an Egyptian struggling with an Israelite. The holy anger of an Israelite welled up in him. The holy anger, because despite the fact that these people were slaves, despite the fact that they were not wearing good clothes, despite the fact that they were hungry, despite the fact that they were dirty, despite the fact that they were doing the dirty jobs of Egypt, despite the fact that they were living in terrible houses, despite the fact that they were chased away from the sumptuous, very, very highbrow area of Egypt. Yet, Moses, that was in the house of Pharaoh, was identifying with these poor people. He loved these poor people. He knew that he was part of these poor people. He knew that he was one of these people. So he was not carried away by the pomp and pageantry in Egypt. And that was why, as the man was struggling with an Israelite, as the Egyptian was struggling with an Israelite. He took hold of that man and killed him.